Hello, welcome back to Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger. The date is March 21st, 2023. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to properly hold a karambit. A while ago, I saw a video, well, actually, I saw quite a few videos that talk about how karambit is not a good fighting knife and so on and so on. Now, I say when it comes to knife and self-defense tools in general, uh, first is to recognize we are not really carrying karambit because we are using them as fighting knife, right? Like, um, it's not like we are back in an age where we get into knife fights every day. If I know I'm going to get into a knife fight every day, I'm going to probably carry a machete or just get myself a gun or something like that, right? Um, yeah, imagine how scary that can be. A blind guy with a gun. But that is why Karambit, saying Karambit is a bad fighting knife, yes, well, it's not wrong. Uh, it is not ideal if your goal is to go out there and challenge someone to a knife fight. Okay? If I was to challenge someone to a knife fight, I probably would want the biggest, uh, longest range weapon that I can. And a karambit would be my secondary defense in case that person get really close to me and my long weapon is no longer available. Then I can utilize the karambit. But it is, yes, it is not a good main fighting weapon. With that said, it is a good self-defense weapon, and personally speaking, a karambit is my personal favorite knife for various reasons. Why? One of these reasons primarily is because as a blind person, a lot of time my fighting rely on me getting up and close to someone, right? So a karambit not only give me great slicing and stabbing, cutting, slashing ability, it also allow me to still utilize my hand without dropping the knife, right? The knife, I can open my hand and the knife is still hanging here on my finger. So I can still do a lot of gripping, grabbing, even with a knife hand without losing my knife, right? And also a karambit is notoriously difficult to disarm. Like if you do your uh, self-defense Krav Maga disarm stuff on the regular knife, that's cool. But to try to disarm someone from the karambit is very, very, very hard. Sometimes, even if the person want to let go, this thing is still hanging there. It's just not coming out, right? So this is why I personally prefer karambit. But that's not what this episode is about. This episode, I want to talk specifically on how to properly hold it because sometimes you watch these uh, people, these naysayers that talk smack about Karambit, and they show you why it's hard to hold and it's hard to use, and so a lot of these people don't even know how to hold it properly, right? So first, of course, obvious, when you hold a Karambit, you hold it commando style, blade out, pointing away from you, not towards you. Not like that. Okay? Some people think, oh, it's like a claw, so you hold it. No, no. Hold it out like this. Okay? You cut like this. You don't. How would you even cut like that? Like if you hold it towards you, right? Doesn't work like that. You have to go outward like that, right? Very smooth control when the edge is out like that. You can cut up, you can cut down, you can cut sideways, you can cut sideways, you can block, you can bring it back against your forearm to block an incoming strike, you can use the finger ring. And this is why you hold it out, tip down, tip out, like this, right? Also, to debunk some misnomer about this, because a lot of people think this is the only way to hold a karambit. One YouTube video said, yeah, it's so hard to do because you have to pull it out of your pocket and then you have to turn it around in your hand and then open the knife or whatever. No, you don't have to. Okay, that's the preferred way, the proper way to fight with a karambit, using karambit. Yes, you hold it like that. But if you are in a self-defense situation and you pull it out and you don't have time to use that, it is perfectly fine to hold it like a regular knife, hammer style or saber grip style. It is perfectly okay. You don't have to. Oh, I'm using karambit. Hold on. Turn it around. Get my finger through the ring. Okay, now we're ready to fight. No. If I'm in a fight and I pull this out, I can punch forward just like this in hammer grip because the shape of a karambit handle, the karambit hilt, is a little bit like a pistol grip, which means when I punch forward, this will push the knife against my palm, so there's no slip at all. This go in with a lot of force when I drive force like this. So I don't necessarily have to turn it around, get my finger through the ring. No. Okay, this is perfectly fine as a pistol style knife. Another thing, and this is the main topic of today, when you hold a karambit, because a lot of people actually don't know this one. When you hold a karambit, the ring of the karambit go just in front or behind your second knuckle. Okay, so from our fingertip, this is knuckle number one right here. Second knuckle, this is where that ring go. Okay, don't bring it all the way to your big knuckle. Okay, this is a wrong way to hold your karambit. Okay, so karambit, you don't ever hold it near the base of your finger. That's too deep. Okay, you need it to be around the second knuckle. And let me show you guys why. There's four reasons why you want to hold a karambit this way with a ring just in front of the second knuckle and not the third knuckle, not the big knuckle. Right? If number one is you lose mobility, a karambit, it has to be a live blade. It has to be alive, able to move in all kind of way in your hand. If you bring it to the base of your finger, which means whenever you try to move this, your other finger is kind of getting in the way. You try to move this, you'll have more of a chance of dropping the knife or getting tied up, and you don't have very good mobility when the ring is this high up on your finger. Okay, your other finger just don't have a lot of mobility. See, I can't really prove this, right? Now, while twirling is really more of a show thing, you don't really need to do that in self-defense, but you need this knife to be able to move, right? When I swing it, this have to come out like that, come out backwards like this, okay? So this is reason number one. If you have the ring too high up on your finger, this will jam you up, right? It's too hard to move this. Number two, when you have this ring this high up on your hand, it messes up your cutting angle, right? Because when we cut, we tend to do a inside to outward in. We need this cutting edge to angle in like this, right? If I have this ring up high on my finger near the big knuckle, when I cut, this is really wonky, right? This is really wonky, yeah? Because now the edge is actually angled outward a little bit. So when I cut, I have to throw my elbow out to adjust the angle to cut properly. That's no good. Okay, you need this to lean in a little bit. So when I need to cut, I just cut, flicking my wrist, and this will have the perfect edge alignment. Number three is When you have this ring too high up on your finger near the big knuckle, there's no support. There's no support behind the knife. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to show. I'm going to turn around so you guys can hopefully see my hand. Where the hilt is, okay, there's nothing behind the hilt when I have the ring this high up on my finger, which means if I contact something solid, it's most likely this is going to uh, get forced out of my hand. Granted, with my fingers in the ring, I still won't drop it, but that's not good. If every time I hit something hard, this slide out of my hand, right? But if I have my finger up to the second knuckle only through the ring, now watch where the knife is. It's bumped up against my palm, okay? It's right against my palm, which means when I cut something solid, this have nowhere to go. My palm is right behind it. It's not going to swing out of my hand. Okay, so that gives you way more support. Also, when you have the ring this high up on your knuckle, you don't have a way to support your ring. What do I mean by support your ring? Right, this ring is not supported by anything. I can't really control this. If I have the ring where it's supposed to be on the second knuckle, my thumb will naturally fall on the top of the ring, and this gives me control. Okay, which lead us to point number four. Point number four. If I don't have this thumb control on the ring, if the ring is all the way up on this knuckle, when I hit something, if let's say I want to punch, when I hit, this is going to just go right, push my finger right back. Probably hurt my own finger because there's no support in the palm. There's no support on the ring. This is like a free floating piece. It will just jam my finger right back. Okay, that's no good. If I have this on the second knuckle, my thumb is right behind the ring, my palm is right behind the hilt. When I punch with this doesn't go anywhere. This will be very solid. When I punch with this, when I punch with this, when I punch with this, right? I'm not going to do that if I have the ring way up here on my finger. If I punch, yeah, that hurts my finger. Okay, so those are the four reasons why when you hold a karambit, the ring have to be in front or a little bit behind your second knuckle right here. So your thumb can sit right over the ring. So when you want to, you can flick the knife out. When you want to, you can throw the knife back. When you want to, you can strike with the ring with very solid control. I'm nowhere near the level of someone like Doug Makeda, who is like the best authority on Filipino martial arts and karambit. But I hope that this episode gave you guys a good little introductory in karambit and how to hold it properly. And remember, when you are new at this, always use a training blade. Don't mess around with a real sharp one. Okay, karambit especially can lead to nasty accidents if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, thank you for checking out today's episode. We'll be back again tomorrow for some Wisdom Wednesday.